What is the greatest match you've ever seen?
Oh, that is hard. Yeah, there's a lot of go-tos. Now, this just means this doesn't have to be in real life, right? Like not like in person saw.
No, just the greatest match you've ever seen.
Just
Pay-per-view, YouTube. I don't care how you've seen it. And the hardest part about this is that, like, remember on Tough Enough, the little black girl said, like, Alicia Fox versus Melina. You're afraid you're going to get the reaction she got from Stone Cold from oh, that's your
right.
favorite. Like, you have to pick a socially acceptable one, it feels like. Like, if it's not the right Shawn Michaels match, then it isn't right. And if it's not, Ricky Steamboat versus Macho Man, it's not the correct answer.
Right. Most people, and I think we've covered that on here, most people say Randy Savage versus Ricky Steamboat. I think that's seems to be one of the overwhelming majority like go-to answer. And I have to call bullshit on people that say that, because if you go back and you actually watch that match, it's not that good. It's great. It's a great match, but it's not that good enough to be called the greatest match of all time. There are matches happening every year that beat out that match. There's a lot of go-tos. I mean, any of the Shawn Undertaker matches I really like. Everyone knows I like the Undertaker Triple H match last year. God, I don't know. There's some Kurt Angle matches that are really good. I don't know that I could pick just one because it really depends on my mood at the time.
Danny, what's hard too about this, because you're worried about impressing other people and letting them know that you're right, but also yourself.
Partially.
Like with me, I feel like I need to say Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels Iron Man match just because little kid me will get mad if I don't say it. Meanwhile, I can't really sit through most of that because the rest holds are just abundant. And even though it's great, and it probably is my number one, just so I can satisfy, that has enough to satisfy the masses and myself. But
it's so long that it like takes away, because how many times are you going to sit through that match? And I think that's what hurts for me. I do love that match. Loved it when I saw it. I've seen it more than once. But I mean, for me, like if whatever I could think is the best match, I should be able to go back and want to watch it, repeatedly over time. And that's not one of them. I could imagine in my lifetime, I may see that match in its entirety maybe one more time, if lucky.
now again, that match, the build-up was incredible. The execution, I've never seen a finisher. Like, you act like people got psyched for the Van Terminator, and then you act like they got psyched again when Shane did it. This Owen Hart move, it completely blew my mind.
That match won the JVC Kaboom of the Week for like the next 2 years.
And here's some answers from the chat if people don't want to call. HBK, Undertaker, Hell in a Cell, Royal Rumble 92, Triple H, HBK, SummerSlam 01, the HBK return match, Owen Hart, Bret Hart, WrestleMania 10. That is a great, I could put that on my list. I mean, when I just think of one, I mean, Randy Orton, Benoit come to mind, Owen Hart, Bret Hart, WrestleMania 10, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, and just an assortment of HBK matches as well.
Right.
I'm with you. I can't pick one. But also, Danny, is it out of line for me to say an Elimination Chamber? Because when I think of my favorite matches,
yes,
I love Elimination, first of all. Anything Elimination's fantastic. And don't act like I'm a hack for saying Chamber, because you people love your Survivor Series. And don't act like you don't. A wild card match up there on my list as well. So,
that was a great one.
But I'm loving these Chamber matches, Danny. I mean, I think that's acceptable compared to, say, it's not like I'm saying I like when Edge cashed in Money in the Bank on somebody and won it in a second.
Right.
Or The Miz. It's not just the moment of it. I mean, there's a great match to be had in that silly concoction that we call a Chamber. And just this year with Santino and Daniel Bryan going down to the last two. And also Royal Rumbles aren't out of line because, especially with the trend of this year with Jericho Sheamus having one of the great matches just at the end of a Royal Rumble match, the tail end. That happening again with Shawn Michaels and Undertaker years ago. And there was a John Cena, Randy Orton, I want to say. This has happened multiple times. So people, that's completely acceptable for me.
I think in order to really do this, I don't think it's possible, at least for me, to really pick one match, because every match you watch satisfies a different need. Like,
oh God,
they all have a different appeal. So, I mean, if you broke them down into categories, I think then it becomes easier. Like, if you had your greatest, like, because I feel like an Elimination Chamber style match where it's just that multi-man kind of melee, that's a different feel of a match than a simple one-on-one that's more technical wrestling. Or you go into your matches that they're likable just based on their the intensity or the big feel of them, like some like for example, like just a Hogan match. Like there'll be some Hogan match that somebody will pull out. But obviously Hogan's not putting on these great technical matches, but the feel of the match at that time might be something that people love.
Yeah, but the wild card in this is the wild card match. No, the wild card is you. I mean, I know that here's what we're saying. There's not a right answer, but has to be one that means more to you than the others. And I'm just going to have to say, we're going to discuss this for months, for years, until we can put our finger on the match that speaks to us personally. Because, I mean, even Undertaker Angle that we did a commentary to, what a great match. ECW matches are just over-the-top spectacular with Jerry Lynn versus RVD. Right now, I'm saying Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, just so we can close this for now.